So welcome to Lorna Byrne in conversation with myself, Kris Meredith. Now, this is an intimate talk with Lorna because, of course, today we were supposed to be in the lovely Manchester having an event for the Children's Foundation. But, of course, with everything going on, that has been cancelled. But don't worry, we're still here. And, of course, Lorna is looking fabulous. But in this conversation, we're going to be talking about hope, faith, love, peace, and, of course, angels. All very exciting. And after I've had this interview with Lorna, it will be you that gets to ask Lorna some questions as well. So if you've been to a Lorna event before, it'll run the same way, the same as it always does. But if you're brand new as well and it's your first time, welcome from myself and Lorna. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy Lorna Byrne in conversation. So first of all, Lorna, I'm so excited to obviously be speaking to you once again. So how are you doing?
Well, I would like to say thank you for doing this, and I'd like to welcome all of the people that will be listening in, and I want them to enjoy themselves as well. And I know lots of people were disappointed because I couldn't go to Manchester, but that's just the way things are at the moment. But I'm here now, and I know later, next year or whenever it'll be, I'll be able to go. So to me, that is just wonderful. And I'm just so happy to be here. So I'm just looking forward to, what kind of conversation we're going to have. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's go, let's start.
Definitely. Well, it's exciting, and of course, with technology today, we can do things like this. So, people can still see, you, and we can have this conversation, and it's exciting to see that, isn't it?
Oh yeah, very. Like, I think, people shouldn't be, I know what's happening in the world today. It is going to pass. We are going to get through this, but I think it's, we just have to kind of do what, the people that have the, what would you say, the know all about it, and just get on with life and ask your guardian angel to help you and to protect you in whatever way your guardian angel possibly can. And if you're to wash your hands a bit more often, or like the other day, a couple of days ago, I saw two little girls, and they saying to the granny, Granny, we have to walk ahead of you because we can't walk beside you, because we have to not let you get sick. And I thought that was a lovely thing to see, and just watching their guardian angels and the grandmother's guardian angel, just literally wrap around the grandmother in protection, and just seeing the concern of these two little girls of the grandmother. It was just, these are just things I see every day. Every day, sorry, the voice going. Every day.
It's lovely to see, Lorna. I mean, it really, really is. And obviously, it's reassuring, for us to know that, because, of course, it is worrying times with everything that's going on. And we will touch on that throughout this conversation with you. But first of all, Lorna, I want to go right to the beginning with you. So, of course, you've now released over 7 best-selling books, and it all started with one of my favorite books, which is Angels in My Hair. I mean, and today it's such still an important book. I mean, how did that book first come to be?
I suppose it came to be after God and the angels pestering me for years, that one day I would write about God and us as the angels would have said. And when the time came and I actually finally said yes, and I suppose that time was many years before Joe actually had died. And I had been wheeling my daughter home in her pram, and the Archangel Michael came up behind me. And being a busy mom, I didn't want any annoyance. I had lots of things on, and kind of getting annoyed and, giving out. And he just saying, the message is that it's getting near time for you to write. But it was many, many, many years later. And I suppose all my life I was avoiding saying yes. I still do that today. sometimes God would say to me and the angels, you know, why do you hide from me? But the thing is, you can't hide from God, no matter what. It doesn't happen. But I suppose it did take great courage. You know, one of the things that worried me a lot was, you know, being laughed at and ridiculed, you know, and being dyslexic as well when you can't read or write. You know, so those things worried me then, you know, were on my mind. And, you know, even in a sense, what would I call God? Because I'm Irish, so most of the people in Ireland were nearly all Catholics. And that was one question I always remember saying to God, you know, what will I call you? And the answer he gave back to me, I actually shocked me, because he said to me, you know, Lorna, what do you call me? And I was kind of stunned, you know, and I just said, God, of course, you know. And he just said, you know, God is universal, to say God as such. And I know people of different religions to say to me, well, why don't I call God Ali? And Catholics would say, why don't I call God Jesus or Father? And there's so many other names, but we have given God so many different names. But God is universal. Everyone knows who you're talking about when you use that word. And everyone knows who you're talking about when you use the word angel. You know, we know we're talking about God's angels, and that's important. And I think it's so, the world needs God's angels more than ever before. And because in one sense we have lost our way, you know, because of all of the material things. You know, we kind of started to believe that life was only about material things, and now we're starting to realize it's not. You know, material things don't bring you love, they don't bring you happiness and joy, and they don't bring you peace. And they're the things we're talking about. So in one way, yes, we definitely need the angels in the world today, and we need to connect more to our guardian angel. We need to, in one way, realize that we're not just a human being. We're not just men, women, and children. We're a spiritual being as well, and we have a soul. That makes me smile, because I was talking to a mother the other day, and I don't know what country she was from, but she was talking to me, and she said, will I ask my little girl how her soul is? And I said, yes, of course. And her guardian angel. Your little girl, like, it's like, you know, when children are born, they are so pure. Their soul is so forward within their body. It's, and again, that's one thing that attracts us to babies, because we see that brightness, but yet we're blind to it as well. And that's the brightness of the soul. And little children, you know, they see the angels, but they are aware of that brightness within other young children around them. And I think it's just something we have to remind ourselves, is that we have a soul and we have a guardian angel. And, you know, what's that word sometimes we use? You know, supernatural. Mm-hmm. It's the word that, in a sense, blocks us, because we look on it in such a negative way. But yet God is supernatural. Jesus is supernatural. Allah is supernatural, whatever way you call God. And your soul is the same, and so is your guardian angel and all of the other angels. And it's kind of just to maybe let that go, and just say to yourself, I have nothing to lose but to believe, to give myself, you know, it's kind of like give yourself a test. I want to see, you know, will my outlook on life change? Will my attitude change? in believing that I have a guardian angel, in being aware that I have a soul, you know, will I start to feel more confident within myself? Will I start to feel a little bit more peace within myself as well? There's my voice again. I'm giving out to God and the angels over that. My voice changes a lot. But we need more faith, and you know, the way the world is today, we even need more faith than ever before. And
we do there, Lorna. And with that as well, you know, you're talking about faith there, and you talked a little bit in there about, you know, your journey to, you know, your first book, Angels in My Hair, but also that, you know, you have dyslexia, you're dyslexic. So, you know, you struggle immensely, you know, with writing and reading, but yet, you know, you've got 7, you know, biggest selling books around the world, which I just absolutely love. So was it important for you to not let that condition to, you know, to hold you back?
I suppose it was, I actually really never focused on it. It's kind of like, just that's the way things are. And the angels have always taught me to kind of get on with things, you know, to try and do my best. So it doesn't really bother me. The only time I get frustrated is going through an airport, or you're in another country, and if all the signs were the same, I could learn them. But because they change, you know, sometimes that's why I can't travel on my own. And I won't let the angels help me, because that was one thing. Even as a child, I used to say to them, no, I'll do it myself. I was very determined, you know, to do things myself. Now they would help me, you know, but sometimes I would scream at them, go away, no. Like, and of course, even when I'm given directions, if you gave me road directions, you know, you drive down this road and you go left, and then you drive and you go, you know, more than likely I would go right instead of left, because even my right and left mix up. But as a child of all these 60 years of practicing, so you're always practicing when you're dyslexic. So I practice, this is the right, this is the left. So I have to kind of figure
find
out. Yeah.
Find a way for you, which is important. I think, you know, for many people that are watching, necessarily the ways that everyone does things isn't necessarily the way for you.
Exactly. And I think that is, you know, when the first book came out, Angels in My Hair, and even right up to today, I meet so many people that have, you know, dyslexic or other issues. And they would say, you know, you give us great courage, great confidence, because if you can do it, Lorna, we can. And they might be studying maybe to be a dentist, but they have dyslexia, you know, but yet they would turn out to be a brilliant dentist.
And that's what it is.
Remember.
And it is, and that's what we should remember is, you know, not to hold us back. Just because on paper it says we can't, doesn't mean that we shouldn't.
Exactly. We're all unique, each and every one of us, and we all do things differently. And that's something that's, you know, very special about us all, you know, that we are.
It definitely is, Lorna. So, I mean, yourself, Lorna, you know, you stand for so much. You're a peace ambassador as well, which I love. You're an inspiration to millions of people around the world, you know, throughout your teachings. And also as well, you're unlike anybody else because, of course, you see and you speak to the angels every single day. And of course, since you was a child. So, I mean, when did you first realize that this was your gift, Lorna?
Oh God, I have to smile because no one has ever really asked me that question in that way. I suppose I actually never looked on it in that way whatsoever. That's the first thing to say. It was only when Angels in My Hair came out, people started saying that, and I'm still kind of looking at you in that way saying, but what do you mean? because we're all gifted. You know, if you can get up and walk, you've that gift. You have a beautiful gift. You're sitting here talking to me. And so I never thought of it in that way, you know. So it was really only, sorry, the voice again, when Angels in My Hair came out, people just saying that when, you know, you have a wonderful gift, but we all have many gifts, you know, and we forget that. You know, we've got just so many gifts. You have the gift of hearing. Like, I meet so many people that have lost, if you want to use the word gift, have lost gifts that they had for, say, 30 years or 40 years, and suddenly one of those gifts was taken away, and they were kind of shocked, and in a sense suddenly realized and appreciated, you know. And sometimes we would say, we'd think back to the past and we'd say, wow, how lucky I was. I didn't realize how many gifts, many blessings I had, because now one has been taken away. And that can be sight, that can be your hearing. You know, we kind of take for granted all of the gifts that we have, and we shouldn't. Even our scent of smell or taste, you know, even shaking hands with someone, having the gift to be able to shake hands, having the gift to be able to give someone a hug, having a gift to be able to speak. And lots of times when someone loses one of those gifts, it's kind of like, oh boy, I didn't appreciate my life before. And now you suddenly have more appreciation of life. But I always find those that might lose something get a huge zest for life afterwards. You know, more determination to accomplish, you know, maybe climbing a mountain, or riding a horse, or painting, or maybe driving, or maybe, you know, it could be anything, going to college, you know, working in a shop, and they get such a zest for life to accomplish that because they lost one of their gifts. So I would love everyone to say to themselves, and maybe look at all the gifts they have and say, right, I'm going to have that zest of life. I'm going to, you know, practice for that marathon, and you know what I mean, or get a bicycle, and I'm going to join a bicycle club and practice for that. Don't wait till you lose one of the gifts that you have.
Seize the day.
Yes, definitely today. And your guardian angel is always wanting you to do that, always wanting you to enjoy life, to feel that zest of life. And yet it's something that we kind of, let's say, put in a bucket and tighten a lid on it, and we say to ourselves, we're bored, you know, we don't want to do things, or get out into that. So today is a lovely day here in Ireland. It may be cold, but it's sunny. And if you can get out for a walk and keep your distance from everybody, get out and enjoy that walk.
That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Well, I mean, on that, and of course, you know, talking about, you know, the zest of life there. I mean, people everywhere, Lorna, I think now are quite slowly, but are getting there to wake up to their own angels and own guardian angels. Do you think, you know, is there a reason for that right now, why people are waking up more?
I think, again, it's, what would you say? It's time for us all to wake up. It's kind of like part of evolution. You know, the world has been in search of the spiritual side, and it has been put down. But now the world is becoming more and more aware, you know, and less people are not afraid to say they believe in their guardian angel, are not afraid to say they believe in God, you know. And I think that's very important, because every single human being has a guardian angel. Your guardian angel takes every step with you. Your guardian angel is never, what would you say, in the next room and you're in this room, your guardian angel is right here with you. And I know, I always remember some people saying, and do you mean in the bathroom as well? And I said, yes, but your guardian angel, they are such incredible beings, but they don't look on us in the way we look on ourselves. They just see us as the most beautiful thing of creation. You know, we are unique, we are beautiful, we are perfect in every way. And their love for us is unconditional. And if you're feeling unloved, just kind of say to yourself, you know, well, I know my guardian angel loves me unconditionally. So that's even giving you help to love yourself, to say that's okay. I will love me too. If my guardian angel sees me as worth it to love, then I am worth it. You know, then I am, you know, I am love, and I can love myself too.
Which is so important, Lorna, so important, you know, it is, you know, and it starts with ourselves, you know, and to love yourself, because like, you know, so many things going on in the world today, and it's easy to not love ourselves, but it's easy to do that, but we just don't do that, do we?
No, we don't do it, but you know, the angels are always helping us. Like I would often see, you know, even unemployed angels and other angels trying to help a person to cheer up or to feel better within themselves. You know, the angels trying to help us to stir the love that's inside of us. And we have so much love inside of us because of our soul. You know, it's pure love. You can't run out of it. You don't have to be afraid of giving too much of your love away that you'll have none for yourself. That cannot happen. You know, so you can give as much of it away, because the world needs us to pour our love out, you know, on everyone, you know, to show that kindness and compassion. And your guardian angel is always whispering to you, you know, you should smile, or is always whispering to you. I'm sure there's plenty of people that would be walking along the street or sitting in a cafe, and they look in a direction and they get, you know, the feeling, or whatever way the guardian angel communicates with them, to say hello to someone, or to get up and open the door because someone is just about to come in. And that's actually showing love. That's showing that we care. And I suppose lots of people feel in the world today, even children, which is so sad, you know, that we don't care about each other. I always remember my little son saying, sharing is caring. You know, we should be sharing more. We shouldn't be keeping everything for ourselves. We should share as much as possible, because you can't bring anything. Your soul doesn't carry any material thing when your human body dies, but your soul lives forever.
Oh, it's lovely. Sharing is caring. I'm going to take that one, Lorna. We're definitely going to take that one. So, Lorna, with yourself, you know, you've worked with angels all your life. I mean, how has it impacted your life, and has it ever been too much for you?
Ever been too much for me? Well, I suppose the first part of the question, I know nothing else. You know, this is my life. You know, I couldn't imagine being anyone else than who I am. And the other part was, how does it impact my life? What do you mean by that?
So kind of, you know, I've got my life, and it's kind of, you know, I'm busy with my day-to-day kind of going out, taking Bert out and looking for, you know, work and opportunities. But with you, does it ever overtake your life? Have you got, you know, Lorna Byrne at home, and then Lorna Byrne, we know that works with angels?
I suppose I have. I suppose, you know, I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother, so I do all of those things a mother does. I wash the dishes, I make the beds, I use the Hoover, I look after Holly, and I look after all of the nature around me, you know, with the birds and the butterflies and everything. And I suppose maybe one impact that I find hard is when, how would I say this? When I lose someone that I love, when I lose someone that, you know, that I became very close to, or that God allowed more than the usual connection. So I would often give out to God about that. Why did you have to take this person when you allowed that connection to become so strong with myself? You know, and yet I'd be told of loads of positive where someone got well, and you know, there's all smiles and everything is good and all of that. But on occasions, can I really explain that? On occasions, God allows a stronger connection, and it's very rare. So I did have one in the last 2 years, and God took them home to heaven, you know, so I would give out about that, you know, so maybe there. I love my work. I love helping people. I would help people as much as I possibly can, you know, 24 hours a day, if I could. That's one thing God doesn't allow me to do, is sleep very much, you know, and so I give out about that, if you like to call that an impact. You know, I might say I'm going to bed, and I might fall asleep for an hour or two, and then I'm woken up and told to pray. And I do that an awful lot, because the world needs prayer, and prayer is powerful. I would love to say to everyone out there, if everyone could say to themselves, they'll pray once a day, even for 5 seconds, even a prayer in the sense of, you know, please help, or help the world. You know, I know I wrote, you know, Love from Heaven, and you know, the prayer book came out as well, and just hearing people saying that when they open it and there's a prayer there and they find the message there that's happening in their life. It's all about helping people, helping everybody. And to me, the angels never, and God has never put up any barriers of religion at all. You know, I would go to all places to talk, you know, and as I have said, sometimes, you know, an audience would have nearly all Catholics, but sometimes wherever I am, they could be nearly all Presbyterians, Protestants, or sometimes I go somewhere else, and I always remember, I don't know what country I was in, but it's happened quite a lot. And there was these 3 nuns, and afterwards they came up to me after the blessing, and they said, Lorna, you know, this was unbelievable. And just to see that we were the only Catholics here as well, you know, it was just the way they said it with such love. And they said, you know, they were so impressed with the faith of the people, you know, and we have to remember, people are mostly good, you know. We've got to remember that sometimes maybe somebody might look like as if they're not good, but remember they have a guardian angel, and maybe something has just happened in their life that has made them angry, or has made them a little bitter, or makes them, in a sense, you know, grab just for themselves. You know, there's always something in the background that causes that. You know, have love and compassion, definitely.
Definitely, there is. I mean, you spoke a little bit there, Lorna, as well. You know, you speak about hope. Hope is a big thing, you know, for us as people. And of course, you know, to have hope in situations like right now. I mean, how important is it for us, you know, to have hope, Lorna?
I think it's one of, what would you say, Hope is something that keeps the world moving forward. Hope is something that, how would I say, I don't know, I'm asking the angels, should I say this? But they're saying yes, because maybe people need to hear it. So no one give out to me, okay? But what I'm being told to say is, you know, those in power, or those that want power or control over all of us, they don't want hope to survive, because hope gives life. Hope gives courage, confidence. Hope makes people strive forward. And no matter what's happening in the world, we all need hope. And the angel of hope is, how would I say, a fantastic angel. And it's only one angel, which to me is kind of, I'm shocked in that way. But yet this particular angel gives hope to each and every one of us. And I know the other angels help as well. And again, prayer, you know, has huge power. It can move mountains. And yet prayer helps hope. You know, it's like it's all connected. You know, sometimes a mother or father will be praying for their children because they want their children to have hope. They want them to get on in life. They want them to get well or get out of a situation. Hope is always there. It's that light that angel holds. You know, it's like such a big flame, and it's all the time beckoning. I can't say the word, but beckoning to us. You know, the way that angel moves in the world, giving us the courage, you know, to get up and telling us that we can do it. We will get through this. This will pass. You know, hope is, we all need it. So I always ask for everyone to have hope in their heart, hope in their life, you know, and to see the hope in the world that is around us.
And that's about, I mean, you mentioned there, Lorna, as well, you know, about prayer, and, you know, you wrote a book on it, which is, you know, Prayers from the Heart, the last time that you was in Manchester. But that book itself, and, you know, we do forget to pray, even just saying the word God, you know, it's important just to even say that word, but to pray, it is so powerful, isn't it?
It is. Again, I always use the expression, it can move mountains. But again, prayer gives us hope. That's why we're praying, because we're praying for the hope of whatever it is to turn out okay. And things do turn out okay in the end. I know we can lose a loved one, but sometimes if we lose a loved one, I always say to people, you pray and ask God for what's the best for that loved one. Don't pray and ask God for that loved one for what's best for you, because that you're really only thinking of yourself, of your hurt and pain if you lose your loved one. But you should always pray for what's the best for your loved one. And that gives you more peace in the end, whichever way it goes, within your own heart and within your own mind. And again, that's very, very important. But yes, the world needs more prayer. We need all to have more faith. And I know, again, the first question you brought in at the beginning, you know, why the angels? Mm. But that's why they're here. And the unemployed angels are here in abundance. You know, I'm still amazed at why the unemployed angels are still pouring down from the heavens, you know, in the bucketfuls. It's like as if, you know, this big, huge bucket is being turned over like this. And it's, you know, and this angel comes tumbling out. And if you can imagine an angel so enormous, so big, so bright, and it's tumbling down from the heavens to our earth like a ball in a sense, and to allow yourself to imagine you know, that you can see these wings, because they all, it's something I don't think I've told everyone before, haven't even written about it, but their wings are kind of, they're encased within their wings. And then when they come into our atmosphere and come through it, and just before, I don't know what distance it would be, but just before they come down, they unfold. So what's that word? Majestically, if I'm saying it right, you know, in that way, and their feet don't touch the ground, and that's happening still today, you know. So we are definitely in need of the angels. And again, I'm still hearing from children, teenagers, you know, younger, older adults and everything, all ages, you know, just saying they never knew they had an angel, a guardian angel, and what a difference it's making to them, just knowing that.
It definitely is. And I think, you know, Lorna, like right now, you know, everything that's going on, you know, with the coronavirus, and of course, you know, going into 2020, there was the terrible fires. You know, it's not been the best start to, you know, a new decade, really. I mean, is there any reason, you know, why are we going through these testing times at the moment?
Why we're going through these testing times? I love the question. Well, one thing, you know, I have been shown many futures, okay, and in the end, they all come together. And I think what's happening just at the moment is like wake up call. Come on, wake up. You know, we have been given a beautiful planet as a gift, but we treat it badly, you know, and I know we can save this planet. I know we can, because that's one of the futures I was shown, that we make this world again like a little glimpse of heaven. So we have it within us that we can do it. But, and again, that's, you know, our planet, you know, trying to heal itself, you know, nature trying to fight back. So I suppose we have to kind of wake up a bit. And I know there's millions of people out there that are doing everything they possibly can. But I suppose we have to press our governments and everything like that. And we do need to plant more trees. But there's other ways that will help our planet as well. So that in a sense, we wouldn't have to have as many fires, that they could start naturally, but they wouldn't have to be so big, because sometimes fires are important for nature at different times, and that's okay. But I suppose the North Pole or whatever poles are melting, that's a huge issue as well. You know, so our governments and science and everything knows that we're putting out too much pollution even today. So I to try, what would I say myself when I go in to buy vegetables? Please God, I won't have to buy any vegetables next year. I'll be working on growing all my own. But when I go in to buy vegetables in a supermarket and I go to the organic side, and I have actually asked in the supermarket, why are the organic vegetables in plastic wrapping?
Yep.
You don't need them in plastic wrapping, you know.
Okay.
You know, we're meant to be making a big effort, and we have to educate our children. You know, like when I was in Canada at one stage, I learned about, you know, that butterfly, what is its name? It travels thousands of miles, but their population it comes from one country, goes right across Canada into the States. So they really travel huge distance.
Wow.
But their population was cut in half. And in Canada, they have everybody on the route the butterfly takes, even outside shops. You see these dishes with fruit, sliced fruit, to feed the butterflies. And you just see, you know, you could be going in the door and there's a load of butterflies having breakfast, or, you know, another little bit for the rest of their journey. And the fruit is kept fresh for the butterflies as well. But then you would have other species coming as well to feed. We have to help nature, because we need nature.
We do.
I think that's one thing the angels and Angel Jimison, you know, when I wrote about Angel Jimison as a little girl, you know, and what I'd call his big stick, or, you know, and he tapping the earth, and I getting such a fright and running, you know. But he's a beautiful angel. You know, he's the gatekeeper of our planet. That's what I would call him. And he does everything. And he's been giving so many messages to the world already. But we're still not listening good enough. We're still thinking money and material things are the important things.
And that's it. And that's it. And they are. And hopefully, you know, we will go and obviously know that it isn't the most important thing within that. So
we're getting there. We're getting there.
We are getting there. We are, positively, small steps. I mean, Lorna, you know, you love animals. You're just talking about them there.
Yeah, I love them.
You do. And obviously you've got Hallie, a Westie. I've got Bert, that's a little Westie as well. And he's a big part of my life. And, you know, with animals, do they have their own angels or guardian angels? How does it work with animals?
Well, I don't see personal guardian angels with animals, but I do see, I often watch angels, you know, just out in the forest with them, or sometimes when I would be somewhere, I would see an angel along a riverbank, and I would know that there's an animal down there, and I would walk real quiet, you know, to see, could I see it? Could I get a glimpse? But we are the guardian angels of nature. We're meant to be taking care of them, but the angels help all of the time. You know, even your guardian angel will prompt you that you should be helping the birds, or, you know, or the bees, or not to be killing the flies. Yeah, that's one story I'll tell you now. I was in, where was I? Japan or someplace last year, and nature has really collapsed an awful lot there. They're losing everything. But one thing that they have lost as well is flies. I know they're flies, and everybody says, "Oh, I don't like a fly," you know. But flies are very important. They feed so many animals and birds, you know, and even spiders, which people don't like either, but we need them all. And I was in a restaurant, and all of a sudden I saw a fly, and I just said, "Oh, look at the fly." And would you believe it? Everyone turned around to get up to have a look at this fly, because they don't see them.
Wow. Wow.
You know, and that's because of pollution, or because of chemicals that are being used to, you know, for the crop to grow better, kill all the insects. But if we kill all the insects, all the other beautiful animals that we love to watch aren't going to survive.
No, they're not.
We're killing their breakfast and their lunch and their dinner.
Oh, Lorna. And also as well, quickly, just a last question for yourself, Lorna, before we do the Q&A. Of course, you know, if this would have gone ahead in Manchester, it would have been for the Lorna Byrne Children's Foundation. And I know that's very, very close to your heart. And I just want to know, what was the inspiration, you know, to start up that charity?
Well, that would be going back quite a while, so we won't go that far back, but it was one of the things the angels had told me, you know, that I would have a charity for children. And I always remember them pestering me years beforehand and trying to get the courage up to say it to my children. And when I did say it, they kind of looked at me, you know, how on earth you don't have the money to start a charity or anything like that. And I just said, we have to start one up. And so myself and my family and some friends, that's how we got together. And then that's how Susie came on board as well. And it's to help children in the world. You know, I always say to people, you know, even if it's €1 you can give, whatever, even the smallest amount, one day it could be one of your nieces or nephews that we're helping. You know, it may not be this generation, but it could be the next that's just coming up. So I hope people will give generously to it, because we need all the help we can get. And I know some people would say, well, why don't the governments take care of it and all of that? They get enough in tax. But there is not enough of money to go around. And children are precious. They are our future.
They really, really are, and it is precious. So if anyone wants to donate, they can go to, you know, Lorna Byrne's website, and of course, you know, you'd be very, very thankful. Well, that is the end of the interview bit, Lorna, right there. So, I mean, for myself, thank you so much. I've been so excited and looking forward to this for like weeks. So it's great that we can.
I'm glad.
I always am, you know that, but I always love, you know, to be able to get back in, you know, to your books and just reconnect. So thank you very much from me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I'm delighted to just to be here chatting with you. I actually forgot we're doing a webinar and just, you know, that friendly chat, and the same happens on the stage as well, you know, so I'm looking forward to whatever questions come in. I don't know what's coming in. You'll have to ask me people's questions.
No, I've got them in front of me. They've been coming in thick and fast. So first of all, thank you for sending in your questions. We'll get straight onto it, Lorna. So the first one is from Yellow Butterfly Laura. It says, hi, Lorna. It says, I spoke to you on the program this morning, and I did a video as well for your 10-year anniversary Angels in My Hair about my yellow butterfly.
Right.
I think one day the angels will help me to connect with my daughter and help me feel closer with me. Blessings. And that's from Laura.
Thank you, Laura. And what Laura has to remember is that the yellow butterfly is her connection to her daughter. You know, it's a spiritual sign. It was her daughter letting her know. Okay.
That's lovely. Absolutely lovely. Thank you very much.
I remember herself. Yeah.
I do as well. I do. So thank you for sending that through there, Laura. This one is from Bernard. It says, are women priests validly, are they orinated, i.e. can they bring Jesus into the bread and wine at Mass? Is this an Anglican church? Is it okay to go to that?
I think yes. You know, I travel around the world, so sometimes there's not a Catholic church around, and I go into whatever church is there. And I actually have met in San Francisco, in one of the cathedrals, I met a woman priest, and she was saying Mass and giving out communion. She was doing everything. So yes, God is there for us all. We don't need to put up boundaries. You know, we need to knock down those boundaries. We shouldn't be afraid to go into some other church to pray if the church that you're attached to is not open or it's not there in that country. You should be able to go to any holy place to pray.
Yes.
Join in the ceremony.
Lovely to know that we can do that as well, Lorna. I've just got one that's come through on email for you, Lorna, as well. It says, I've always thought that helping someone else after we die, if we can, is it a good thing to do, like organ donation, eye donation, etc., if it's still okay? However, a few months ago, totally out of the blue, I suddenly thought I can't do that because there is a part of me that's still bound to earth, because part of my physical body is still walking around. I'll be very grateful if you could ask the angels and put my mind at rest, please. And that's from Angela.
Angela, that's a lovely question. And I have asked God and the angels that question myself on umpteen occasions. And because I always wanted to, you know, donate any organ from my body when I would die, but seemingly that's not possible for myself. But yes, that's okay to do that. Your soul doesn't take part of your body with it. When your human body dies, your soul leaves with everything, all the knowledge of you, all the love of you, because that's your soul. It doesn't, when you leave an organ behind, it's not you. You're not leaving part of yourself behind. So that's okay. But I hope you'll never have to give an organ. We want you to live a long life. Okay? That's the important part.
Thank you for that one, Lorna. This one's from Danny. It said, I found it very touching and I felt for you when you were described in your books that you considered to be retarded because of your learning difficulties. I also had a very difficult time as a child due to my own dyslexia and would often cry myself asking God why he had made this so difficult. And that's for everyone else as well. And that's from Danny.
That's lovely, Danny. You have given great encouragement, I'm sure, to lots of people out there that would hear what you've just said. Believe in yourself just because you're dyslexic or just because you have any disability of any kind. Believe in you and know that you are unique in every way.
Oh, that's so good. We're all unique, aren't we, Lorna? We're all unique.
Yeah.
We are. This one's from the email. It says, my question relates to the spirits Mary and Edward, who you write in your Stairways to Heaven book, Lorna. Why was the remaining on earth able to bring about healing, and were their guardian angels with them, even though you don't mention them? And that's from Sandra.
Yes, there, Sandra, that is lovely. I'm going to be continuing that story or giving more understanding of it in something else I'm doing another time. So what I only can say at this moment is, yes, of course, the guardian angels were with them. And it is a fascinating story. And very few people comment on it, but that's because they don't see, but you must be seeing a bit more.
Interesting. I like that. Something exciting coming out. This next one for yourself, Lorna, it says, I'd like to ask you, Lorna, if you can feel emotional if you listen to beautiful music. You said in an interview that you didn't have a note in your head. When you have time, Lorna, please listen to Daybreak by Barry Manilow and Morning by Greg. And I'm also sure you'll be moved emotionally. Thank you. And that's from Veronica.
Well, thank you, Veronica. I'll have to listen to that. And when I say I don't have a note in my head, I love music. I have a piano at home and I can't play the piano, but sometimes when young men and women are at the house and they can play the piano and sing, I love to listen to it. I do love music, but it is that I don't have a note in my head in the sense of I'm flat. Okay.
That's a good question. I like that. This one for you, Lorna. It says, hi, Lorna. It says, do animals go to heaven? Will I be reunited with my beloved pets at a later date? Thank you. And that's from Sharon Day.
Yes, that is one thing the angels have always shown me, that if we truly love an animal, now I mean truly love it and look after it, even if you die 50 years later, God will have that animal in heaven as well for you. And you have to remember, in many traditions through life, God has used animals as, a guide for us, as to give us hope. Like you'd often hear someone say sometimes, when they were sick or they were stuck somewhere, they say, I could hear my dog barking, but my dog barked ages ago, but I knew I'd be all right because I could hear it. Sometimes God uses, and the angels, they use animals just to help us. So we should be more kinder and loving to nature. And of course, if you have loved your pets dearly, of course, God will have them in heaven for you.
Oh, that's lovely, Lorna. Thank you. I appreciate that as well. This one, it says, can you pray walking about, or is it better to sit still? What is a prayer?
Yes, you can pray whatever way you want. You can be climbing a mountain. I often go for walks, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So you can pray whatever way you want. There's no barriers in prayer. Okay, you could even be at a sing song if you like, somewhere where and suddenly you just want to pray. You can, nobody will know you are except God and the angels. Okay.
Thank you for that, Lorna. This one's interesting. It says, do our souls want to grow?
Say that again.
Do our souls want to grow?
Want to grow. I know people ask a lot of questions like that. It's a very big question to answer because you'd have to go back into a lot of different topics. Your soul is that spark of light of God. And in one sense, it is God has given us this soul so that we would live forever. And I don't know why he fell in love with us. When you look at us today, all the things we do. But again, his love is so unconditional as well. And to me, maybe part of answering that question is because our soul is that spark of light of God, that tiny little bit, and yet is so big and so enormous and fills every part of us and is out there. And in a way, I always smile at God, and I often would say, is that you, God, trying to get to know us a little bit more? And I think I have referred to that in one of the books. It could be, which one was it? Angels at My Fingertips. I'm not sure now because I give people so much because that's what God and the angels have said. You would never be able to take it all in. So you're given just so much. So I hope that answers that.
Oh, thank you for that one, Lorna. This one says, hi, Lorna. It says, my daughter lost her little son, Max, a few months ago. He was 11 months old and he battled with cancer for over 6 months. Needless to say, we are all heartbroken. We would like to ask, is his soul still with her, or will he be looked after by family members that have passed to heaven?
I just have to smile, In Angels in My Hair, I talk about, I called him my little brother, but he really wasn't. He had died before I was born, Christopher. And I suppose it's for them to remember, and especially the mom and the dad, everyone to remember that his little soul is with them, but his little soul is in heaven as well, and is with all of those that would have gone before. But God always allows the soul of our loved ones to be with us, to help us, to grieve, to come, to grieve, to let go, to give us comfort. And I know his soul is with his mom at times, and I know just like my little brother, he would be in her arms at times as well.
Oh.
Okay.
That one, Lorna. This one is from Sarah. It says, do you think Angel Metatron is visiting me? I felt it was called that, but I thought it was called Megatron. Is there anything about that? Thank you.
I don't know, but if you feel an angel is visiting you, separate from your guardian angel, maybe it is a teacher angel, to help you with something that you're doing. So if you feel that way, well then, there has to be something to it, yes.
Oh, love that. This one says, would you have any tips of how to connect with your own guardian angel?
Do you mean my guardian angel, or?
They mean their guardian angel.
Their guardian angel. I think the first thing to do is say hello to your guardian angel. I know I have given many exercises that people can do, and maybe one is, if you don't know your guardian angel's name, ask. That's important, but the most common name in the world is my guardian angel. So don't worry so much if you feel you're not getting the name, because your guardian angel's name is so long. But maybe sit down and write a letter to your guardian angel, or maybe sit down and write the questions you would like to ask your guardian angel, and ask for a sign. And keep on asking, but make it something easy and small. And one of the signs people ask for all over the world is a feather. Remember, your guardian angel can't, what would you say? Your guardian angel always has to work. You know, say sometimes when someone asks for a bunch of flowers, well, sometimes that's not so easy for the guardian angel, because the guardian angel has to get someone else to give you that bunch of flowers. But sometimes a person is given a single flower and they don't look on it as what they had asked for. They disregard it. It's like even a child coming up to you and handing you a daisy. A child that you don't even know it usually is, runs over and hands you a daisy. And I can recall just so many people telling me that they asked for flowers, but they meant a bunch. They didn't mean one, you know. But sometimes even, you know, your guardian angel could be putting into your head, the neighbor down the road, give her a bunch of flowers, but you think, I don't know that neighbor. Why is that thought coming into my head? Why am I bothering with that? You know, but again, I would say to everybody, if something like that comes into your head, go and do it. Because you might actually be saving that person's life. That could be why the guardian angel wants you to do it, because that, regardless of their age, young or old, is saying to themselves, well, what's the point in life? Or they're giving up, you know, but yet that card or that phone call that comes in, you know, again, we're going back to love, we're going back to hope. You know, in doing that thought, you could even be in a cafe, and on your way in, your attention was brought to somebody out on the street, and you felt inside of you to bring them out a cup of tea, but you don't bother because you say, why should I bother? That's silly. You know, but you should. Or it could be maybe, you know, just someone standing waiting on a bus, you know, and you hand them a flower. You were told to, you know, buy a flower from a stand, and you buy one and you're saying, but I didn't really want this. What's this for? And all of a sudden, when you're walking somewhere, you see someone is brought, you know, they're brought to your attention. You know straight away, you just go over and say, this is for you. Have a lovely day. Or this is your hope. You know, it's to do these gestures. Because again, we're going back to hope, but hope, we have to give hope life. And hope never wants to go out. That light of hope wants to keep burning. And we ourselves are hope for others and hope for ourselves. Sorry, I went on real far.
No, it was important for us to know that, and beautiful. No, I was in that as well. I forget we're doing this sometimes. This next one is from Shelley, Lorna. It says, can you say any more about the exciting news you touched on recently that could help us all? Love, Andy and Shelley. P.S. And thank you that you helped with us bringing us together 2 years ago. And loads of kisses.
Oh, I remember them. Wow. Well, that is wonderful. I'm so happy for them. All I can say is I'm so happy. There's no more.
So good. None of that's fine, Lorna. This next one, it says a bit more serious. Said, if someone has taken their own life, is it helpful to pray for them still, even if many years as it has been since they have passed? And are prayers only helpful when a person is still on earth? And that's from Louise.
Well, that's a huge question, but I suppose this part of it I will answer, and that is, you know, that loved one, that person that they know that took their own life, they're in heaven. That's what she has to remember. They're in heaven. Every time someone takes their life, God wraps them in that beautiful blanket of light and holds them in his arms. None of us are meant to commit suicide, but sometimes someone is in just that dark place and they feel they can't get out, you know, and sometimes they take their own life. And to me, I give out to God about that all of the time. And yet I have met many strangers that have stopped me on a street and has said, you know, they read the books, Angels in My Hair, and it stopped them taking their own life. And they're so glad now because years have passed and life has, you know, they've learned how to live life. And yes, we should pray for those that are in a dark place. And lots of people are in a dark place at the moment, all ages. And I know we call that nowadays mental health or mental illness. And again, it goes back to giving hope. And again, it goes back to, you know, caring and sharing. You know, we can care and share in so many little ways. And showing love. It's like handing that flower to someone again is giving them hope. It's showing a stranger that they are worth it, that they are loved. It's giving them, you know, the chance to live, not to give up, because we're all so important, and prayer is powerful. So yes, I would say you do pray, but you don't need to pray if they're already gone to heaven. They are fine. You tell them to help you. You ask their soul to help you. Okay?
Thank you, Lorna. This one says, Dear Lorna, it says, I wanted to travel to Washington, D.C. to a fertility clinic, but the flights are now cancelled. When will it be safe to travel there? Will it be too late for me? Kind regards, God bless, Deborah in Cork.
Well, I don't know when flights will come back. But what I will do is pray for Deborah that if it's meant to be, that it won't be too late. Okay, that's all I can do. And again, we're going back to prayer. Okay.
Lorna. This one I like. It says, do you think the angels can appear in the form of clouds to people?
Yes, sometimes the angels will give us signs. You know, they will tell you to look up at the clouds, and they'll have the clouds look like an angel. It's not an angel, but they'll have it look like an angel. And I think that's lovely, because sometimes, you know, I would often look up at the clouds and I would just break my heart laugh, and I'd say, yeah, I can see, you know, it could be an angel tumbling, or you see these big angels, they have organized the clouds in the way that they have blown, that they're, you know, big wings, you know, so many things. And that's a sign for people as well. Angels are always giving us signs to help us to see the light of hope in our life, you know, to make us smile and to make us laugh and to enjoy, and not to be feeling miserable about everything. I just say, when you're drinking a cup of tea, you should be enjoying it. Don't be feeling miserable about it. You know, enjoy it. We have forgotten how to enjoy the little things of life.
Yeah,
but
nice.
They're the big things. They're the big things.
They are, especially a cuppa. We do like a good cup of tea. Definitely, Lorna. This one is from Nadia. It says, hello from Spain. It says, we're currently on lockdown. We can't go out for 2 weeks. My son is asking you this question. How does it feel if you've got angels around you? And my question is also for my kids choosing their parents. Are the guardian angels choosing us as well?
I have to smile. That's a beautiful question. And I know I have answered that question in the books as well. But your children, when they were souls in heaven before they were even conceived. I don't know if mommy and daddy want to go into that part or how old they are, but every soul meets their guardian angel in heaven and gets to know them and knows everything of their guardian angel, and the soul knows everything, and the guardian angel knows everything of the soul as well. So what was the full question now? I've kind of...
Within that, Lorna, yeah. So the son was asking the question, so how does basically, does the kid like choose their parents? That was the main bit.
Oh, how does... and again, I've answered that partly in the books. How would I say this? God told them everything, and they did choose their parents. All the good and the bad things of their parents, all what's not perfect, all those ups and downs. But the soul, their child, loved their parents unconditionally. So when they were conceived and a little baby and born, always remember you did choose your parents, regardless of whether you would say they're the best parents in the world or not. Or sometimes a child will turn around and say to their parents, I hate you, because they're not getting what they want. But that's love, and what I would say to the children, just love your parents, love them and cherish them. And I would say to the parents, love and cherish your children and be the best parent you possibly can be. And for the children, your mom and dad, your parents are always trying to teach you what's right and wrong, so that when you go out into the world there, when you're older, it won't be so hard on you. So yes, you did choose your parents. Even if you say you hate them at times or because they won't give you what you want, but that's okay.
Oh, thank you for that one, Lorna. This one says, I would like to ask you, how do you look at the situation, how God and the angels are helping us in this hard time, and what can we do to do more?
I know God and the angels are helping us during this time. And I know we're getting all of the advice from our governments and from the health boards and everything like that. And I would just say to everyone, follow that advice, and I know it's about washing your hands and keeping your distance and everything like that. But don't forget, if you're strong and healthy, don't forget to help those that are more vulnerable, like the two little girls, as I told you at the beginning, saying to their granny, we'll keep the distance, because they didn't want their granny to get sick. And during the week there, a young person who said to me, welcome to my life every day, because they have an underlying health issue and their life is like this every day. And again, it's to remember that you could be out with your friends and not realize that one of your friends has an underlying condition, and you might only discover that now. So again, it's about caring and sharing. And I know we will get through this. I know we will, but we have to be vigilant. We have to, take all the advice we have been given. It's not like as if it's back in the early 19th century. We have hygiene and everything now, so we have to try and, what would you say, nab it in the butt? I think that would be an Irish saying as well. We have to try and do that. And the flu breaks out every year. Just this one is more aggressive, and we need to take precautions, and we need to do that. And in a sense, look after our planet as well. I always say life keeps life in check. So we need to help in all of those ways. We'll get through this. You have to remember that. And don't buy all the food in the supermarket and leave none for no one else. We have to, again, we're learning how to share. you know, to be caring and sharing, you know, to be thoughtful. And for young people, because I know sometimes teenagers, it just doesn't dawn on them. But I think it is. I notice it here in Ireland now, you know, when I went into the chemist and, you know, everybody giving the distance and nobody pushing or shoving. I know there was a big panic on the supermarkets. I don't know where they were going with all the food, but you don't want food to be wasted to, you know, perish. You know, so you have to leave some for others. And there's plenty of food there. And spring is coming. I'll have plenty of vegetables because mine are already starting to come up, you know, so, you know, try and not panic, but do what you're being told and look after your neighbors. You know, that's important. Look after your community wherever you can help. I heard from a friend in Germany, and there, I don't know what mayor of the area, I think they call it the mayor, just said to the community, help wherever you can. And I just heard so many great stories of neighbors helping neighbors and looking after, you know, and all of that is very important, and looking after children so people can go to work in a different way. So let's just take care of each other. Let's let that love out and get rid of that fear, because fear is not going to do us any good. It'll only make us panic and we'll make loads of mistakes. So let's get rid of the fear and let's have more love in there.
Definitely. Well, we couldn't end right now, Lorna, on a better question for this. It says, how do you nurture a zest for life? And that's thank you. And that's from Farah.
I love that. Nurture a zest for life. You have to start to teach yourself how to enjoy literally everything. So is it Sarah? She said her name was?
Farah.
Tara.
With an F. Farah.
Yeah, Farah. I would say maybe start right now. Every single step you take, remind yourself that you're going to enjoy. You're going to feel that step. If you go outside, that you feel all the life around you, the air going into your lungs. It's like getting that zest for life to become alive again within you. We have forgotten to enjoy life. We have forgotten to get that sense of life. I can't, that's my throat again. That if you want to climb the mountain, you can climb as far as you want, but you're enjoying every moment of it. You're feeling the life of the twigs, the earth, the stones, the wind, the cold, the rain, everything. We've just lost that zest for life, so many of us. Just start to enjoy every single. I'm enjoying myself here. Like, actually, I'm enjoying it. It's one thing the angels always taught me, to enjoy every single moment, even when I was shivering cold. But gee whiz, you can enjoy that when you're cold as well. Like, you know, it's to feel life. The zest of life is to feel life. Okay, I could say loads more, but
we will do. Well, thank you for that, Lorna. That's the end of the Q&A session. So at the end of your events as well, you have a blessing. So we'll go on with that, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say the prayer the Archangel Michael gave me, and I'm going to ask, even though I can't be there personally to bless everyone individually, I'm just going to ask God that while I'm saying this prayer, that he would bless every single person that will be listening in today or whenever. Okay, so I'm going to bless myself in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Prayer of thy healing angels, that's carried from God by the Archangel Michael. Pour out thy healing angels, thy heavenly host, upon all of the audience and upon those that they love. Let them feel the beam of thy healing angels upon them, the light of your healing hand. Let the healing begin. whatever way God grants. God bless us all. Amen. And thank you.
Thank you for that, Lorna. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone that's been watching. I mean, there's one thing I will take from this is that sharing is caring.
Sharing, definitely.
It is. And, you know, you couldn't really end this, you know, without saying thank you to everyone. But of course, it is a testing time. But like you said, Lorna, you know, with the angels, we'll get through it.
We will. It'll all pass. So don't be in a huge state of panic. Don't allow fear to overtake. Allow the message the angels have given today, you know, sharing is caring, you know, love, hope, peace, help others. So you will be helped yourself. Okay? And thank you so much to everyone. And to yourself.
Definitely, Lorna. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. And that's going to be us. So thank you very much.